All right. Good evening, everyone. The time is 6 p.m., and I hereby call this meeting of the Student Senate to order. We'll begin with a roll call. When I call your name, please say here or present. Moran. Moran. Rolls. Samantha Jones. Pelzer. Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski. Utica. Palin. Nievenhoven. Weaver. Azan. Kameyer. Pedasani. Agarwal. Verriger. Gopa. Snyder. Momini. Sidney Jones. Sloop. And Pursley. With that, we do have quorum for the evening. So with that, we'll move into the Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice Speaker Pursley. And so with that, we'll move into this evening's Senate program, possible ROTC involvement with student government.
Sorry, just need my cheaters out for a second. Yes, I'm that old. Good evening, everyone. I am William Van Hall. I was a IRHA senator last year. It's real nice to be back and see all the new faces and some of the old ones. However, tonight I am here as a friend of the ROTC department. It came to our attention last year that there was really no connection between the ISU ROTC and student government. And there have been a number of times when the ROTC department was left completely out on its own with no real ability to fix its problems, which could have been easily fixed with cooperation with student government. And there have similarly been times where the student government has had issues that could have very well been solved by the ROTC department through, again, something as simple as an email, if the point of contact existed. So myself and a few others, members of the student government and the cadre of the ROTC department, came up with a bit of an idea to try to rectify that. So some of you may or may not be aware of the position of the Sergeant at Arms. The Sergeant at Arms is a military posting in the real state and federal legislatures that is responsible nominally for security and matters of protocol. It's primarily ceremonial at this point. My proposal is to essentially create one for this body to act as the eyes and ears of the ROTC department on student government, and to act as a point of contact and a go-between for the two departments, and try to rope ROTC closer into the student body, because as of now they're very much left on their own. So the initial duties are rather small, starting out as simply performing the Pledge of Allegiance in uniform for the body, and then being again that go-between, that point of contact. That's the most essential thing. So this program was created with the idea of gauging your interest and your support or concerns about this idea. Before I go to questions, I would like to first answer and lay out the rough plan for how this change would be made if you end up supporting it tonight. So, if this body reacts favorably to this proposal, then I will proceed to the ROTC department and hash out a final plan regarding the purposes, obligations, duty roster, and such of a Sergeant at Arms for the next semester. I will then bring that back, and I will work with the student government to write a bill that will basically, when passed, result in myself and the speaker writing a formal request for the Sergeant at Arms to be furnished to the student government. Once that letter is passed off, the earliest convenience of the RTC Department of Student Government, the Sergeant-at-Arms will be furnished and will begin their duties immediately. With that in mind, I would like to turn myself over to questions or concerns or recommendations of the idea. And before I leave, I'd like to get a tentative show of hands on whether you support me going forward with this proposal, or whether you think that this should simply that this is not in the interest of this body.
All right, so if not, the floor is open for questions and comments, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Starting with Speaker Momini.
I'm going to try and keep this short and not too repetitive of what Trotter just said, but Trotter had this idea as a senator to have ROTC come and perform our Pledge of Allegiance. As of right now, every part of our agenda in the bylaws has a delineated structure and assignment other than the Pledge of Allegiance. Right now, it's just historically that the Speak Allegiance ROTC would allow us to add a line into our bylaws saying who does the Pledge of Allegiance. And just kind of give us some more structure. It would also provide a chance for members of ROTC to advance. It would give us a connection to the ROTC and maybe even a little bit more agenda. So that was just the kind of idea, and that before we did any official bylaw writing or stuff like that.
Sums it up very well.
With that, the floor is still open. Seeing no one, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate
May
it.
I ask, we would like a tentative show of hands. I don't know the official procedure, but if we can just see a yay or nay type thing. So those that would be in favor of me continuing to follow this proposal through to the end, please raise your hands. And those who are against? Might I ask why?
I feel as if it's
Yep,
really
would I be able to ask you to use the microphone? Thank you.
I feel as if it would be just an accessory that is unnecessary at this time. You said it yourself, it's a primarily ceremonial role, so.
In the real legislature, in this legislature, the concern is mainly to address the lack of connection between the two groups. Because again, the RTC department has problems that need our help, and they don't even know we exist, quite frankly. So bringing this person in would solve that.
I do support the advancement of the ROTC as it relates to this organization. However, since we don't have any financial ties to you that I know of, I don't think it's particularly relevant at this time.
Okay. Well, that gives me all the information I need. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And so with that, we'll move into open forum. Open forum shall serve as an opportunity for students to speak about any issues relevant to the student body. If you're here tonight for open forum, I would ask that you approach the podium at this time. And I forgot to mention this for the program. I would ask that senators close or mostly close their laptops as we respect the speaker. Thank you. This time is yours.
Micro-mobility vehicles have been a ruckus to this campus. We should be doing we as a student government should be doing something to make them less of a ruckus to our beautiful campus. Like yesterday, we saw two people riding at like 40 miles per hour and then colliding into each other. Like, why do you need to go that fast on our sidewalks? Stick to the road. We should be, this is a pretty relevant issue to campus, and I think we should, this is not even for student government. We shouldn't, it's common sense. You should not be riding that fast when you're on those sidewalks. Like, there are people in this room, everyone knows the problem. It's not like a problem we've never seen before, but stop riding your bike so fast, stop riding your e-scooter so fast. Just get on the roads, walk your wheels, and that's about it.
Hello, everyone. As you all know, I'm Bob Carver, the current Director of Affordability, and I'm here to just present an idea. I'm interested in starting a committee for affordability, and it's very simple. If you're interested in being a part of the committee, just shoot me a message after this meeting. I only am one person. I only have so many ideas. We have a wonderful Senate here that knows a lot more than I can and can get me to, as a body, we can do greater things than just one person. So that's why I think a committee would be amazing. So if you're interested, shoot me a message.
Hey everyone, I'm Eric Gertis, our Director of Outreach. I just thought I'd use this time to give us a little update on where we're at with outreach and give some announcements regarding outreach events and credits. First of all, Destination Iowa State and Club Fest were both huge successes for us. We've increased our followership on Instagram, and at Club Fest we had over 100 signatures on our interest form. I've reached out to each and every one of those students and sent out the interest form, and more students are signing the interest form every day. This week, my top priority, or this coming week, my top priority will be reaching out to those students and referring them to the appropriate chairs for the committees they're interested in, so look out for that. Secondly, I had the honor of sitting in on interviews with potential directors of ITs, and I gotta say, our nominee today, Danny, he's more than qualified for this role. I think he's gonna be a great fit. Lastly, 8 members have completed sufficient amount of outreach credits for the semester. As of noon today, 2 people have signed up to help with the substance-free tailgate. I'd like to see at least one more person sign up for that, because Christine wanted at least 3 to 5. And if you have signed up using the Quadrix form, that's fine. Just make sure you also sign up on the outreach in the MIS so I can keep track of your credits. Tomorrow is the Student Government Expo. I'd like to see as many people there as possible. Great opportunity for outreach credits. I've had a few questions regarding where to sign up for that. That is not located in the outreach tab. That's in a tab on its own in the MIS. So make sure you check that out if you haven't signed up yet. Please let me know if you feel you've completed enough outreach or an outreach credit that I haven't marked down on the chart. I'd be happy to update that for you. And if you have any questions, please talk to me after the meeting. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Brendan Fellows, Director of Residence here, but this year, Iowa State's Department of Residence Hall Honorary has the honor of hosting the Midwest affiliate of college and university residence halls here from October 25th to 27th. We're really looking for volunteers. It's super easy. A lot of it's just sitting in boardrooms, getting some really good professional development, learning skills from a bunch of student leaders from all over the Midwest. So if you or anyone you know is interested, please let us know. It's a great opportunity to get involved in campus.
So with that, is there anyone else here tonight for open forum? Seeing no one, we'll move into adopting this evening's agenda. Are there any amendments before we do so? Starting with Speaker Momini.
I move to reflect the changes. Let me find my mouse. You guys should be able to see it on your agenda. There are 2 highlighted sections. Those are 2 bills that were not previously on the agenda. One of them is congratulating President Winterstein, and the other is a bylaw change that I will get into a little bit more on my opening announcements. So with that, I move to make those amendments.
So there's been a motion to add item 001J to special orders and 003Y to new business. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Are there any objections to this amendment? Seeing none, it shall be made. So with that, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as a whole? Or, sorry, did you have an amendment?
Yeah, I want to move
004SC nomination for IT. All right, so there's been a motion to move 001J to the top of special orders, or excuse me, 004SC to the top of special orders. Is there a second? Second. Moved and seconded. Are there any objections to this amendment? Seeing none, it shall be made. Back on the agenda as a whole. Seeing no other amendments, is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Seeing none, it shall be adopted. With that, we'll move into adopting the previous minutes from last meeting. Is there a motion to do so? Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Are there any objections to the minutes? Seeing none, they shall be approved. We'll move into committee reports, starting with the Rules Committee and Speaker Momini.
Rules had a pretty good meeting last week. We got some important stuff added to our bylaws that was forgotten in the bylaw rewrite that happened last year, if you were here for that. If not, it was basically the previous rules committee was going through like piece by piece and combining our Senate rules of order with the bylaws and also rewriting any irrelevant or needing updated portions of the bylaws. So in that confusion, there were a couple of chapters that had the same numbering or had been taken out to be looked at by specific members. And so we're just now adding those back in.
Up in the next like 10 to 15 minutes. He is very qualified for this position. He had an amazing interview, and yeah, I hope you guys listen to his speech, ask him some great questions because he's got a lot of ideas. Lastly, the Student Government Expo is tomorrow. I think this is going to be said about 100 times, but please attend the Student Government Expo. There's been a lot of work put into this. The co-director of events have done a fantastic job. So please show out, come support, and this does count as outreach credits. So make sure that you sign up for it in the MIS as well. Thank you.
With that, the floor is open. No questions or comments. We'll move over to the IDEA Committee. Are there any questions? Starting with Senator Azan.
Thank you so much for the update. Could you talk about the projects, upcoming projects that you are interested in these days or you're planning to work on?
Okay, so over the summer, we kind of started talking to Career Services Council, and me as well as the International Student Experience Director, Sophia, we were working on finding some ways to kind of help international students with securing employment opportunities. And the first step was kind of convincing the council to incorporate these kind of markings or distinctions to kind of put it forward as to which companies are open to hiring international students and sponsoring them. So that was something that was incorporated this career fair, and hopefully more in the ones that are coming up in the week or two following this. And we are hoping to make bigger strides in that area because we're not just trying to do something for them just to clear our consciousness and conscience and be like, oh yeah, we did something, but we actually want to make bigger differences in their life and help them out more, because this is just the first step. And
Okay.
we were talking about that at the retreat as well. We have some ideas, and once we have more kind of concrete plans to share, we will.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just want to get an idea because as
Yeah,
far as
yeah.
I understand, you said it's almost done and it's like a whole semester is left. So what is next? That was the question. You know, if that is something that you have already worked, so what's the next plan that you want to work on?
So what we got from the Career Services Council over the summer was that their plans for the fall career fairs were already kind of set. There was not a lot of wiggle room to make changes, or my initial idea was to have a smaller version of the career fair specifically for companies or organizations that are open to hiring international students for internships, co-ops, or even postgraduate employment. But there wasn't the time or the wiggle room, like I said, to do that for this semester. But as soon as this week of career fairs are done, my plan is to start communicating with them again so we can at least have something like that early on next semester, because I don't want to put it off for too late, because I think everyone here knows that positions kind of start filling up over the winter and early in the spring. So that's the plan for now.
Awesome. Thank you, I yield.
Any more questions?
Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll move on to the Events Committee.
All right, in case you hadn't heard, Student Government Expo's tomorrow. For those committee chairs who are going to get our materials tonight, we're very sorry we don't have your materials. We had them in the cart this morning, and Evan forgot the P card. So we'll be getting them tomorrow morning very early. And we'll also are having our handouts being printed and cut up tonight. So if you requested a handout from PR, that's getting printed tonight. If you said you were supplying your own handouts and you didn't send them to me, that's your own responsibility to have them printed out and ready for students. Monet and I are going to be start setting up tents and things on Central Campus at 9 a.m. So if you are available and feel like setting up a bunch of tents, please come help us at 9 a.m. At 10 a.m., we advise all committees to be there to start setting up. So I don't know how much stuff you have, but we'd rather you get it set up sooner rather than later. So at 10:45, you must be set up and ready to go. 11 to 2, you have to be happy and talk to people at your booth. I feel like you have to say that because sometimes you don't just want to stand there. You really want to interact with these students. It's a great way to get some at-large members and just keep people involved in student government. You need at least one person at your booth at all times. So even if you're a senator who's on a committee, please sign up and help staff your booth because you get outreach credits and it's just the right thing to do. After 2 p.m., we'd like you to clean up your booth and then help us take your tent down and haul it or just take everything down. So again, 9 a.m., set up tents. 10, be there to set up your committee booth. 10:45, you have to be ready to go. 11 to 2, you have to be happy. And after 2, you don't have to be happy anymore, but you do have to clean up. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.
It's for the live stream, so that part works. But thank you very much. Are there any questions for events? Seeing none, we'll move into updates from our ex officio, I believe we have. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Emily has a regular meeting next Tuesday with City Council. There was a special meeting of the Ames City Council yesterday to discuss downtown Ames, and one of their goals is to get more students downtown. And she'll be working on an initiative to increase the amount of information about events downtown, so please look out for that in the next few weeks. She's excited to see an at-large to the Local Affairs Committee tonight, and she will inform you about her plans and initiatives with our committee as they are planned and looks forward to starting some new projects in the next few weeks. She apologizes that she couldn't be here tonight, so please reach out to her via email or Teams if you have any questions or comments for her.
Are there any questions for local affairs? Seeing none, we'll move on to sustainability.
Hey guys, so we have 5 at-larges being sat tonight, so that's super exciting. They're all great candidates, so I'm excited for you guys to meet them. We also will be tabling next Saturday the 28th at the Ames Eco Fair, and so it's just a ton of local businesses, and we'll be there. So that's a great way for you guys to see downtown Ames, and it's also, you can check it out during the farmers market, because it's from 9 to 1 right by the City Hall. So we'll be there. Come check it out. It'll be lots of fun and very cool. And then also, we had our 3rd meeting today, and it was really great because we got to set up dates in the coming weeks. So yeah,
Questions or comments? None, we'll move on to health and wellness.
Hey guys, I just wanted to start out by thanking you for those of you who went to the retreat and took part in the Green Flags training. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I heard there were a lot of questions asked, which is awesome. That was the point. Working on the next 2 part of that. And secondly, as September is creeping to an end, I wanted to remind everyone it is National Suicide Prevention Month. So reach out to your friends and reach out to your family because you never know who's struggling.
And with that, the floor is open. Seeing no one, we'll move on to updates from our Director of Governmental Affairs.
Okay, guys, Colby's sorry that he's not able to make it here tonight. He's currently at a CALS council meeting. He wants to give a big thank you to everyone who attended the Board of Regents event last night. He's heard numerous great things and is looking forward to a great year ahead. He is, however, still looking for a few more senators to join legislative. Feel free to email him, or you can even come talk to me because I was a legislative ambassador last year and it was wonderful.
All right. Any questions for legislative ambassadors? Seeing none, we'll move into that other category. This is an opportunity to speak about any committees that are not otherwise represented on this evening's agenda. Seeing none, we'll move into comments from the judicial branch. I don't think we have anyone tonight from the court, and so we'll move on to comments from our advisor.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say congratulations on a very successful retreat this past weekend and a very, very wonderful event yesterday with the member of the Board of Regents. I do want to say today at their meeting, I got lots of feedback about how great a time it was for them and how they enjoyed interacting with all of you who were there. So thank you all for your hard work on putting together that event. I think it had a huge impact and really means a lot. So I just wanted to share my congratulations.
The floor is open for questions or comments for Director Garland. Seeing none, we'll move on to comments from the executive branch with President Hirsch.
Okay, so you've already heard it twice now, but thank you so much for everyone that attended the Board of Regents event. That was so awesome. I was so proud of us. Shout out Senator Hamath, too, for playing Psy. Not everyone gets to say that they've been Psy, at least for one day in college, so you did a great job there. That was super cool to see. And the part that made me so proud to be part of the student organization is that after the fact, when we got done advocating on behalf of students, I think half the people that stayed behind and helped us clean up, and that was really cool to see, and we very much so appreciated that. I thought it was going to be till like about 12 o'clock we were going to be cleaning up, so thank you everyone that helped there. And then again, the expo's tomorrow. We really need a big showing from everyone. That smiling faces that we had yesterday, let's parlay that into tomorrow and get more students to join our organization. And then we have a great nomination for Director of IT, and then once he's confirmed, we'll be back at a full Senate, or a full cabinet rather.
All right, any comments or questions for the executive branch? Seeing none, we'll start with internal matters, item 2024-2-008F, funding for student engagement with Senator Nievenhoven.
Hi, everybody. We covered this in Finance Committee this past Monday, and Kevin Merrill and Sydney Vantini are here to talk to you guys about it tonight.
Thanks, Jonathan. My name is Kevin Merrill. I'm the Assistant Director in Student Engagement for Leadership Service and Student Organizations, and this is...
I'm Sydney Pantini. I'm a second-year grad student who works in student engagement, primarily with leadership programming, but I also kind of act as like the treasurer for this budget, so.
So we appreciate your time today to help us seek some funding. This budget is primarily a student engagement programming budget and to cover student organization systems and things like that. This is for involvement for students to seek involvement opportunities, to join student organizations, to have leadership and service opportunities. Our office student engagement is quite literally below this room. So we're downstairs across from Panda Express. Our office student engagement has 10 full-time staff, 2 graduate students, one of which is here, and then some student front desk staff. None of this budget is going towards any staff time or salaries or benefits or anything like that. It's only for the things listed on the line items in the bill. Let's see here. Our office includes some things. We're not talking about those in front of those, just so you have a broader picture. The workspace is part of our office. Cybele and billiards, that's part of our office. The M Shop and the programming they do there is part of our office, and some other spaces and programs and things like that within the Memorial Union. But this budget, again, is focused back on those programming and opportunities for students to get involved. There's around 30,400 students or so on campus. If you look at this budget, to fund all these things that are listed, it would break down to $1.64 per semester for students to be able to do all of these things, which is $3.27 per student to gain access to all of this. Usually we go through the annual allocations process, and we did have a budget in the works. We met with the Allocations Finance Committee, and at some point, the budget didn't make it into the bill, so that's why we're here today. So normally we would have that part of the annuals, and but we're here talking about today. When we figured out kind of maybe what happened, it was already summer, and without a Senate, that puts us here today in front of you. So happy to talk to this Senate. Would have had to talk probably with the last Senate. No big deal. Happy to share what we do. Let's see, what else? Let's see here. Our budget generally doesn't include certain things. We don't usually include items like promotional items in our budget, but because of the way this year worked out, the Student Engagement Office, we typically would have had Club Fest part of the budgeting allocations, but because we didn't have that, Student Engagement has been working with some folks in student government to figure out solutions of things that normally would be in our budget, but then instead we can ask for here, knowing that Student Engagement essentially covered the Fall Club Fest out of its own budget. So there are some things in here that aren't typically there. I'm happy to talk about any and all if you'd like to. And then again, Sydney's here as a student, as part of our office, has eyes on everything that we do. So if you had any questions about what we're up to, we have a student in the mix every day who sees it all. So there's nothing really that we're hiding behind, or we're happy to discuss. Let's see if there's anything I forgot. If you're looking at the numbers, last year, our original request in the allocations process was around $101,000. Through the Finance Committee allocations talk, the budget that ended up sticking in the system was around $97,180. Our current ask is $99,512, with the difference of $2,331. And if people have questions about what that all works out to and where, I'm happy to discuss that as well.
With that, the floor is open, starting with Senator Azan.
First of all, I want to say thank you for providing services to all the student organization on campus. I do have a couple of questions. So the first question will be on the promotional items. I can see that is the line item included. Are you planning to acknowledge the funding received by student government in your promotional items?
I think
funded by Student Gov, ISU
yeah.
Student Gov. Yeah.
We make it a point to note anytime student government is part of a program, whether that's through the marketing or other materials. I would say we would want to include that in promotional items. Oftentimes you're dealing with something that's the size of like a postage stamp or 2 postage stamps, and there's not a lot of space to put student engagement, get our information out there, and then also have another office or student government as part of it. So I wish I could say absolutely 100%. I think that's disingenuous. I think we would end up not being able to do some of the promotional items that we usually do based on the size. But what I can say about the promotional items is that we can choose when we give those out and who we give those out to. So we've already made a commitment within our office to not give those out to non-students or non-enrolling students. Like we might use some over orientation, for instance, but those students are enrolling students. So we can already make a commitment to say to you that we wouldn't be distributing them to general community members, and that the student fee dollars would still stay student connected, because we know that's an important thing to student government in general.
Awesome. The second question I have is on the alternative breaks. So you have like total 31K around that. Could you explain what does that mean, alternative breaks?
Alternative breaks, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. So alternative breaks is our service trips program. We do typically 5 trips on spring break for the full week, and then for fall break we do, depending on the budget and what we can work towards, around 2 or 3. And what we do is we take students who are interested in doing community service over their break time, and then we use student government funds to help subsidize those trips. Those students still have to come up with some of the amounts on their own. That program is more expensive than what we ask student government for. But those students will go to a location and they will do community service. We drive in university vehicles, we stay in the least expensive housing, we make all the meals, all those sorts of things. It's really about students going to do service that are connected to Iowa State. One of the trips coming up this fall that I'm really excited about is, I can't remember the town in Missouri, but it's the National George Washington Carver Monument. So we're gonna have students go down and work with that staff to help take care of those grounds and that monument, because there's a direct connection back to Iowa State. So this time even it's service, but also connected to our history and traditions, which I think is pretty great.
Awesome. So the last question I have, did your department consider reaching out to other departments like Memorial Union or Division of Student Affairs or any other departments to co-sponsor this bill, because it's a big amount? Have you ever considered reaching out to other departments to support this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really collaborative in general. The Memorial Union, definitely, we've been talking openly about our budgets and to see what that's looking like. Our budget is, the student engagement budget is directly connected to the Memorial Union. So the things that we've moved around to fund, some of the other, like Club Fest is a big example. There's another leadership program we did. But the Memorial Union is helping take up the slack where we have to take up the slack. So that was one of our immediate responses to trying to figure out our budget this year. And then also, we're always collaborative. We're working with the center, we're working with Sloss House sometimes, we're working with even the Leadership Studies program, we're working with all sorts of folks all the time. We try to do the most that we can do through our relationships for the least amount of dollars with the largest impact for students.
Awesome.
Bottom line every time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I yield.
Speaker Momini.
So this is a pretty big budget. I have a question about like student government relationship to student engagement. I know that some student office spaces, including ourselves, have had some like changes to the procedures that you guys have, like no trash can, food procedures and stuff like that. I guess my question is, based on my new understanding of the relationship that student government has with student engagement, are you guys willing to work with the students' need within your own office spaces about like the questions that they have about those things or the concerns?
Yes, absolutely. I think I'm willing to entertain any question or concern that you have. I haven't received that feedback specifically to me. So if you have questions or concerns, we just want to make sure that whatever policies and procedures that we're putting into place in for student office space, for instance, that's an equal and equitable thing for everybody. Also, trash cans in all those office spaces increases. We went away from it during COVID for two reasons. Obvious, one reason COVID, but also staff time to go in and out of all those offices. It's not insignificant when you look at every single office space. So that reduced their time to prioritize other needs. And then also, there is trash close. It's not like it's across the building, it's just outside. So we're trying to weigh our student organization needs with our staff needs. But if you have questions or concerns, geez, okay, voice. If you have questions or concerns, let me know. I want to have the conversation, because sometimes the answer is yes, absolutely. And sometimes the answer is maybe, let's talk it through, or no, but here's all the reasons why. So I really want to entertain that if that's something you want to discuss.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I yield.
Senator Azan.
Sorry about that again. I had another question for you. So as the treasurer for a club, so typically whenever you need to do marketing or advertisement, let's say get involved booklet, club has to pay certain amount of dollars to get advertisement on marketplace or anywhere else, right? There's a certain portion that each organization has to pay. So my question will be, do you guys generate revenue, in your department, or it's more about, nonprofit and, relies on the funding from different departments and student gov? Can you talk about the process of revenue generated if it's applicable to your department?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Get Involved booklet is a break even to print that item in color and distribute that widely. It's not something we're getting money from. We're actually often just barely getting in the black. It's not a lot. And student government does support those student organizations in helping pay for those spaces. So I really appreciate that. But that's not something that we're using as a pass-through to make a lot of money. There's not that many ad spaces in it to make enough revenue to really push it out there. If we were doing that every month and getting that much revenue like a newspaper, maybe. But there's not interest for that. We use it basically as a break-even opportunity so we can get a high-quality larger item with a lot of our information in it, and then an opportunity for students to be able to advertise. So that's really what that's all about. As far as the marketplace, there's a 5% service fee that's on there. And if you know anything about credit card fees, we're not getting anything for it's basically covering the smallest amount of staff time to transfer those monies around. We're not really getting much off of like a percent or so of those. Most of the time, it's club dues and things like that. So it's not huge amounts of money anyway. And that's just to be able to make it possible without some sort of, we have to collect the pass-through of the fee for the credit cards. And then, like I said, just like this, we have some staff that goes towards that, but it's pretty nominal. And it wouldn't come close to a budget like we're talking today, to be honest. It's much lower.
Thank you for explaining. I'm just asking this question because I can see in the line items you have mentioned maintenance and all this, like, website management and all this, and you're still asking us to contribute. So I was just curious that, you're already getting some money from a student organization to maintain this. So I just want to double check we are not double funding something.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And to add really quickly, the maintenance fees, if we go to the web development with IT, their hourly fee is like $120 an hour to fix anything. So if something breaks and it's a small fix, it still is $100 every time. So, and that's without working on projects, larger projects where a lot of those actual like larger dollar numbers go, like when a database is failing or we want to increase functionality for student use.
With that, the floor is open for debate. Second. Moved and seconded to end debate. Are there any objections to doing so? Seeing no objections, closing comments, Senator Nievenhoven. Seeing none, and seeing as this is a finance bill, we'll move into a roll call vote. When I call your name, please say yes, no, and of course you may abstain. Moran. Oh, excuse me, not present. Rolls. Samantha Jones. Pelzer. Utica. Allen. Nievenhoven. Azan. Kameyer. Pedasani. Agarwal. Veriger. Gopa. Snyder. Momini. Sidney Jones. Sloop. And Pursley. I'm sorry, who did I miss? Oh, my apologies. Thanks for calling me out there. Weaver. All right, and so with a vote of 18 to 0, the motion carries.
Thanks, everybody.
Vice Speaker Pursley.
I would like to make a motion to move the seating a senator to Rules Committee 2024-2-010 SG. Sorry.
I'm sorry, was it
wrong one.
001 SD confirming a senator?
Yes. 2024-2-001 SD up to the top of special orders.
There's been a motion to move 001 SD to the top, moved and seconded to move 001 SD to the top of special orders. Are there any objections to doing so? Seeing none, the amendment shall be made. And with that, we'll move directly into item 2024-2-001 SD, confirming an LAS senator with Vice Speaker Pursley.
Yes, so this is a bill confirming Senator to LAS. We talked to her in rules. She's great. I listened to what she has to say.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ella Ainodimov, and I'm here today in hopes of getting confirmed as an LAS senator. I'm a junior, majoring in political science and minoring in general business. And on campus, I'm involved in numerous activities, such as being an LAS student ambassador, as well as being employed by the Iowa State Athletics Department as a tutor. I've always had interest in student government, and I now strive to become a senator. I feel as though I am now ready. I feel established enough in my studies, and feel as though I have a thorough understanding not only of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, but of Iowa State as a whole. As an LAS ambassador, I spend every other week sharing numerous opportunities that both LAS and Iowa State have to offer for the student body to prospective families. I admire the hard work that student government does to better the university every single day. I would love to be able to contribute and give back to the university through my actions as a senator, because Iowa State has become my home away from home, and I could not be more grateful. Thank you.
And with that, the floor is open, starting with Senator Azan.
Nice and sweet, love it. I was the LAS senator last year. Can you talk about any projects that you are super excited to work on as a senator, if confirmed?
I'm not going to lie. I am unsure as of right now. I haven't had any come to mind specifically with LAS. Potential projects in general, though, in works with wanting to get the student engagement increased down in downtown Ames. One idea I've kind of had was hosting like a live music type night with performances and showcases by on-campus organizations. I think that could increase possible engagement.
Awesome. The last question would be, could you talk about the challenges that you think that LAS is facing, and students has concern that you want to, bring up?
Yeah.
Any challenges or anything?
Yeah, so one challenge is that LAS is the most diverse college here on campus. We house 52 different majors in one college, therefore it's difficult to feel as though everyone is being seen and heard due to the fact that it's such a large college. I've witnessed this as being an LAS ambassador. This is what I speak about to prospective families every other week, and as well as at Experience Iowa State. So that's one issue I would like to take on and handle and make sure everyone does feel addressed and feel like they are seen through such a large college.
Senator Kameyer.
Hi. So my question was just about your experience as an LAS ambassador. So you said in your opening speech that you kind of feel ready now to become an LAS senator. Can you talk about that process and how I guess you feel ready now? Thank you.
Yeah, so I feel ready. So I am an out-of-state college student here. I'm originally from Brookville, Wisconsin. So when I first came here, I came here with 2 other people from my graduating class. So it was a little bit difficult for me to put myself out there. I'm a pretty shy person naturally. Once I really established this as a home, I also really prioritize my studies. I am part of the honors college here as well. And so now that I have completed 3 full semesters I've completed 4 full semesters, my bad. Going on to my 5th, I do feel as though I understand college fully. I understand Iowa State fully. I didn't have any prior knowledge of Iowa State before becoming a student here. So now that I've completed 4 semesters, I feel as though I do.
Awesome. Senator Azan.
So we used to have a senator, Everhart, and she typically asks a question to all the, nominees. Can you describe yourself in one word? Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but.
You're okay. I would say I'm going to use 2 words. I'm going to not follow, but open-minded. I'm very open-minded.
Awesome, thank you. Are you?
Is there a second? Moved and seconded to end debate. Are there any objections to doing so? Seeing no objections, closing comments, Vice Speaker Pursley. Seeing no closing comments. UC has been called for. Are there any objections to passing this motion by way of unanimous consent? Seeing none, congratulations, the motion carries. And if you could hang up there for just one moment, we'll get you sworn in.
So repeat after me. I solemnly swear or affirm.
I solemnly swear affirm.
To execute the duties of my position.
To execute the duties of my position.
As prescribed in the Constitution.
As prescribed in the Constitution.
And laws of government.
And laws of government.
For the benefit of all students.
For the benefit of all students.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, it's Iono Dimhoff is correct? Is there a motion to add our new senator to the roll? Any objections? Seeing none, she shall be sat. All right, and so with that, we'll move into our next item of business, which would be item 2024-2-004SC, executive nomination for IT director with Speaker Momini.
I'm gonna invite the director up there.
All right, this time's yours.
Before that, I'm going to accept a friendly.
Yes, that we change idea to IT.
Accepted?
Accepted.
All right. Go for it.
Hi, everyone. My name's Danny Pillar, and I'm really looking forward to this role of IT director if I'm appointed. I just want to say a special thank you to both of the Erics who interviewed me. I got a little worried that I would have to be named Eric to get this, but I think it's working out. A little bit about myself. I'm a computer science major. I'm a junior currently, and I'd say one of my biggest career interests right now is web development. And I think this would not only provide great experience for that, but it's also something I'm passionate about. So I think I could do a great job on the website, helping improve it and make it even better than it already is. I had a couple ideas about that, and I'm always open to suggestions too, so if anyone has suggestions about the website, please feel free to reach out to me, let me know, and communicate with me, and I'd be happy to hear them out. So thank you guys again. I appreciate being here, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, the floor is open, starting with Senator Pedisani.
Hi. I have a couple questions regarding your qualifications. So what experience do you bring in terms of web development and any prior projects or experience you have regarding this?
Yeah, so I'm actually taking a web development class right now. So I'd say right here, my knowledge of web development is like here, and I'm hoping by the end of the semester it'll be even up to here. So it's not something I've been doing for like 5 years. I'm not gonna sit here and lie about that, but I think it's something I definitely have a passion for because I originally applied as a design major, but I really like coding too, and that's why I did computer science. So I think this is kind of a nice cross between design and coding. And one recent project that I did, to answer your question, is I made a catalog of musical instruments for sale, and it had a couple HTML pages displaying different types of musical instruments, string instruments, wind instruments, and it was a multi-page web page that I did. So I think that'll be a good experience to help get me into this.
All right, Senator Kameyer.
So an idea I had for the website was the potential of having individual profiles either for senators or constituencies. Just hearing that, like, do you know like what that would look like from the computer aspect and how to do it?
I know exactly how it would look like, and I'm pretty confident that that's something I could figure out how to do throughout the semester. I can't promise I know how exactly all in my head right now, but I'm confident that I could work on it and figure it out, though.
Okay, awesome. That's the perfect answer. Thank you.
Samantha Jones.
I really, sorry, brain's not braining. I have a couple ideas for the website too. If we could put like a pictures page, I have another tab for pictures page and have like a, I don't know what's the word, like a, just tab, thank you. Thank you guys. A gallery of pictures. Would you be able to like do that with your experience?
Yeah, you're suggesting like a gallery of photos, having a web page that links to that? Yeah, I think we could absolutely do that. I think I could figure that out and do that.
Sydney Jones.
Do you have any other like commitments or clubs or anything that you're involved in right now?
Yes, I'm in Web Development Club. That's something I just joined this year. I went to the first meeting yesterday, so I'm hoping that'll also be a good experience for this. And then I have a part-time job. I'm a baker at Clouds, so I do that. And then I'm also in Computer Science and Software Engineering Club.
But you could make it to meetings as you're needed to. You have time.
I'm sure I can make it to all the meetings. I don't think I have any schedule conflicts with that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Senator Agarwal.
I just want to ask you if you've already seen the website, considering you're so confident about
reforming it. I don't doubt your capabilities. I just wanted to know if you already seen it, if you have any feedback for it, if you had any ideas, stuff like that.
Yeah, I did look at it recently. I have seen it. One idea I had off the bat was just maybe as you're scrolling down, kind of incorporate colors to divide it into more coherent sections as you're scrolling down. I think that's something that the Iowa State University did with their overall official website, and I think that's something that would be cool if we could incorporate into our website.
With that, the floor is open for any further questions or discussion. So if one of those becomes a second, moved and seconded to end debate at this time. Are there any objections to doing so? Seeing no objections, closing comments, Speaker Momini? Seeing none, UC has been called for. All right. All right, it's been moved to have a roll call vote. So when I call your name, please say yes, no, or you may abstain. Rolls. Samantha Jones. Pelzer. Utica. Palin. Nievenhoven. Weaver. Azan. Kameyer. Pedasani. Agarwal. Verriger. Gopa. Snyder. Momini. Sidney Jones. Sloop. And Pursley. All right, and so with a vote of 17 to 1 to 0, the motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll see item 2024-2-007 SG, seating at-larges to the Sustainability Committee with Speaker Momini.
I am trying to get the bill pulled up so I can see whose names are on it, but once I do that, I'm going to invite those people up. Can you see it? I can't see my cursor. I'm going to invite Meyer, Jaden, and Emily up to the podium. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Hi, hi, I'm Meyer Loeb. I'm a senior in community and regional planning. I've had an interest in sustainability for quite a long time. I'm an Eagle Scout, so growing up I've been heavily involved in community engagement and giving back to the community and in environmental roles. And I've had experience working in local government, working on projects involving various stakeholders and getting things done in terms of sustainability and projects on a larger scale.
Hi, I'm Jaden Hansen. I'm an environmental science major. For most of my life, I've been just more interested in environmentalism in general, just because I've always loved wildlife. Last semester, toward the end of it, I forget which class it was, but they were bringing up the pillars of sustainability, and it really intrigued me. And I noticed it was a committee that was a thing you could do, and so I thought, why not try it and see what happens?
My name is Emily Melishewski. I'm a senior in environmental science, and I'm also minoring in horticulture, so I've always loved things like wildlife and plants. I heard about the Sustainability Committee through a friend and also through a lot of emails that my advisor sends out, and I thought I might give it a try because it would be fun to be a part of something that could make changes that I see on campus and help promote, I guess, just awareness of sustainability in general.
All right, so if not, the floor is open for any discussion or questions. Starting with Senator Palin.
First off, I would just like to express my support for these candidates. I was just in a meeting with them right before this, and they're all passionate. They're all really involved already, and they're all pretty, I mean, they're nice and they're very intelligent. So I do have a question for all of y'all. What are some specific projects that you're looking to do in the upcoming semester?
So we all agree to like do 2 subcommittees, and then all like those subcommittees have like a project that we're all working towards. So one of them that I am on is like a volunteering subcommittee. So just providing and I guess sharing volunteer opportunities on like a local level for students to engage in, and I guess help support the community. And I know there's like 3 different types of sustainability that we are working towards right now too, which is environmental, social, and economic. Yeah, economical. So it's not just environmental that we're working on, so it's more inclusive for everybody.
Like she was saying, like we just signed up for our subcommittees an hour or 2 ago, and one of the ones I'm in is the natural, I think it's like just about natural plants, just kind of like the prairie grasses that are by Science 2. And I think that's really cool just because how rare it is to find that in Iowa now, and it helps educate people so they like care to make change to protect and maybe expand it so we can have more of it around.
Yep, so one of the subcommittees I'm on is the same one focusing on native plants around campus. I think that's a pretty big issue, especially in Iowa when only 4% of the land is natural anymore. So when we have land that we manage personally, it's important to do the right thing with that land, and if we can give it back to the natural plants that are from this state, that would be very important for the animals and aesthetically and for campus overall.
All right, Senator Azan.
So I do have a question to Abby. So they are already involved in subcommittees? What do you mean by that? I mean, without getting confirmed by Senate, they are already part of the subcommittees?
So our subcommittees, you do not have to be sat to be a part of it. It's not, like, I guess, legit. We take anyone that is interested in sustainability, and I think even if you guys do not believe that they are a good fit, I would love to have them helping us, even if they are not sat. I think they're great candidates, and with the timeliness of getting this year started, I think it's important that we are providing those volunteer opportunities early on, as well as working on those native plant resources. We had a lot of interest in the committee, and we had to turn away a lot of people, and I'm confident in these people, and I think you guys will be too. So I just wanted them to kind of fill into their role and see how they're feeling about it and get started.
Okay, so as far as I understand, so you don't need approval from the Senate to actually ask anyone to work for you?
Just to vote for, like, things. But so for example, if I had a volunteer person that volunteered for something that I was doing, I think that's a great thing to have for sustainability. And I don't think that anyone helping me along the street or coming up to me and wanting to volunteer at something that I'm doing is a bad thing for sustainability, and I would hope that you guys would see that as well.
Awesome, okay. So now I have a question for you guys. Can you talk about any things that you have seen on campus that needs to be done in terms of sustainable efforts? Anything that you feel like, that we should work on it? You do have resources, you do have a lot of budget, a lot of money. I don't remember the exact amount, but I was in sustainability as well last year. We do have dedicated amount to execute the projects. Who asked this question? So I'm talking about the challenges that they have seen on campus, like issues they have seen on campus.
I do find that to be distinct enough that, please go ahead.
Yeah, so any issues that you have, find on campus that you think that should be brought up in Senate?
I guess an issue that has been seen and is already kind of being worked on was the solar compacted trash cans. I wasn't a part of this, I just want to make that clear. But I thought it was interesting because we were talking about it in our meeting today. The solar compacting trash cans don't send like a signal to the company that collects them when they're full. So the head of the recycling organization, Steve, he was working with another student on the committee to make these QR codes to go on the trash compactors that you can scan to say like, hey, I'm full, and then that'll notify the organization and then they'll come pick it up. So it just kind of solved that issue.
Yeah, to go back to what the project that I'm excited to work on, which is the native plants, that is part of the issue that I've seen around campus, because besides the central lawn, which I don't think will ever change to a different plant than other than turf grass, but there are plenty of places around campus that aren't utilized in any other way for like recreation or anything. So it's really a shortcoming that those spaces are wasted on grass, which provides very little benefit. And then another issue that I've noticed would be lack of signage in terms of educating people on our campus about what's going on about certain things. Last semester you may have noticed there were some signs describing like the trees around campus and what those are. I thought that was a very great project, and something I think that would be relevant to right now, for example, would be a sign about Lake Laverne. Why does it look the way it does, and like what is happening right now with it? I feel like a lot of students aren't aware of the Lake Laverne project and all of that that's going on, and just see it and see an unkept lake. So sort of education around campus about sustainability issues.
To add on to what he was saying, I think signage for just the wildlife around Lake Laverne would be helpful too, because I think people don't realize when you interact with wild animals often, they get habituated to people, and that is either not safe for the animal because like it's better for them if they avoid people because it usually leads to bad situations or things of that nature. Like I've seen the geese especially are, I would say, too friendly with people. And just like if you get them upset when they have chicks, it could like lead to a bad problem.
With that, moved and seconded to end debate. Are there any objections to doing so? Seeing none, closing comments, Speaker Momini. Seeing no closing, sorry? UC has been called for. Are there any objections to passing these nominees by way of unanimous consent? Seeing none, the motion carries. Vice Speaker Pursley. I assume you're referring to 008 SG? Okay, 1 second. Let me introduce that real quick, and we can make that amendment. So this is item 2024-2-008 SG, seating at-larges to the Sustainability Committee with Speaker Momini, and I assume you wish to make that amendment. You could take that as a friendly if you wish, I think.
Yeah, I'll take it as a friendly.
All right.
Okay, with that, there were 2 people on this bill. One of them couldn't be here tonight, so I am going to invite the other person up to the podium to tell us about themselves.
Hello, I'm Amelia Trena. I'm a senior this year in environmental science. I'm minoring in horticulture, and I'm also getting a soil science certificate. These classes that I've taken have definitely prepared me to be on this committee and keep Iowa State's sustainability in mind. I was also on this committee last year, hoping to be on it again this year. Last year I did some projects such as working on the bike repair station that can be seen around the Memorial Union, as well as tabling some events such as Sustainabiliza. I want to continue doing this this year, and one of the main projects that I'm working on are magnets that will have recycling information about campus and the city, especially as we don't have one recycling program that comes along to all of the dorms, the residents, and the private apartments. So I think that this is really important for campus to be aware of where they can recycle different items.
Hi, everyone. I'm back. For those of you who don't know me, I was the Director of Sustainability last year. I would like to continue to be an at-large as I was before I became director. I was an at-large for 3 semesters before last year, and then I was Director of Sustainability, where we changed a lot of different things and implemented several different measures to increase sustainability on campus. I am a double major in environmental science and animal ecology, and so I've basically grown up with sustainability throughout my entire life, so I would like to be able to continue improving the Iowa State campus to make it as sustainable as it can be.
All right, the floor is open, starting with Vice Speaker Pursley.
I would like to motion to put Amelia Trena on this bill and strike 2024-2-009SG from the agenda.
So there's no one else we're confirming on 009?
Yes.
Can we make those as 2 amendments because one's an amendment to a bill versus the agenda?
Yes.
If we just deal with the first part of that first, it's adding both of these nominees and reflecting them on this first bill being 008SG. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the amendment shall be made to the bill, and then dealing with the agenda, that would be to strike 009SG, seeing as there are no more nominees on that bill. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Are there any objections to that amendment? Seeing none, it shall be made. Okay, and so we're now back properly on 008SG as a whole, and the floor is open for questions or discussion. Moved and seconded to end debate. Are there any objections to doing so? Seeing none, closing comments, Speaker Momini. UC has been called for. Are there any objections to passing these nominees by way of unanimous consent? Seeing none, thank you. The motion carries. Next, we'll see item 2024-2-010SG, seating a senator to the Rules Committee with Speaker Momini.
So last week we had Senator Pedasani come. He sat in for our rules meeting, said that he liked it and would like to become the 4th member of Rules. So with that, if you'd like to join, please come see me. But other than that, I'm going to give the floor to Pedasani. He was set favorably from me. So that's all.
Hello, everyone. I'm Senator Pedasani, as you may know. And also, I guess now everyone knows I was SAI yesterday. But in terms of Rules Committee, my interest comes from, especially last year, having rewritten the entire bylaws and constitution for Friley Hall Senate, and also writing the constitution and bylaws and operations manual for my robotics club that I started last semester, and also just helping IRHA with amending their bylaws for this year. Gave me a great appreciation in terms of rules, so I want to bring my knowledge and experience from that over to stugov to also help stugov improve their bylaws, but also work on the baby bylaws project along with Speaker Momini as well.
All right, and with that, the floor is open for questions, starting with Senator Samantha Jones.
So my question to you is, I know you're a very busy person. How are you going to make time for rules within your schedule?
Usually I don't give myself free time because most of my free time is taken up by things I actually enjoy, and like stugov, my classes, everything I do are things I enjoy. So I really only make time for things I do, and the things I do, I'm doing right now, so.
Floor is open. Second. Moved and seconded to end debate. Are there any objections to doing so? Hold on, closing comments, Speaker Momini. UC has been called for twice. Are there any objections to passing this motion by way of unanimous consent? Seeing none, congratulations, the motion carries. Vice Speaker Pursley.
I would like to motion to move 2024-2-001J to the end of new business because we put it in the wrong spot.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to move 001J to the bottom of new business. Are there any objections to doing so? Seeing none, that amendment shall be made. And we'll move on to 2024-2-011SG, seating an at-large to the Local Affairs Committee with Vice Speaker Pursley. Oh,
She is not here. I don't know if someone has a written statement from her.
Motion to table this bill for 1 week.
Moved and seconded to table 001 SG for 1 week. Are there any objections to tabling this item? Seeing none, it shall be tabled.
Motion to table 2024-2-001Y for 1 week.
Moved and seconded to also table 001Y for 1 week. Are there any objections to that tabling? Seeing none, it shall be tabled. And I believe with that, we'll move into the new business for this evening, starting with item 2024-2-009F, funding the Women's Softball Club with Senator Nievenhoven.
Hi, everybody. This is a bill to fund the softball club. They are requesting funding for minivans to go to their competitions. They're all relatively close except for the national events that are in Georgia. So ask away.
With that, the floor is open for questions of intent. Senator Sidney Jones.
Will we have a representative from the softball club here next week?
I believe so, yes.
Senator Kammeier.
I don't know if this would be a motion or just a friendly, but friendly. Just to amend the bill to read, or the line, regionals in Overland Park, Kansas, and not Overland. Just for context, Overland Park is a suburb of Kansas City. Overland, Kansas doesn't really exist.
All right. Do you accept that, friendly?
Yes.
All right. We even kept it like a yes or no question there. With that, are there any further questions of intent? Senator Kammeier, I assume you meant to. What's that? Not needed, but I appreciate it. It's a new business item, and so we'll see this next week, but thank you. With that, we'll move on to item 2024-2-010F, funding the Transportation Student Association with Senator Kammeier.
So kind of a similar thing here. We will, I guess, okay. So you can see the budget here. What it's mainly trying to fund is for events and just like general funding as well as travel for this year. And we'll see this in finance. And if it passes through finance, I would assume that we would see the organization when this goes to second read.
Sorry, excuse me. We good? All right, with that, the floor is open for questions of intent. Seeing none, we'll vote on this next week, and we'll move on now to item 2024-2-011F, funding the Water Polo Club with Senator Pedisani.
So this is to fund the Water Polo Club to be able to join a league, as they're trying to join, I forgot what the acronym was for the CWPA. It's Collegiate Water Polo Association. Yes, that. So they're trying to join a league to compete against a lot of other universities and teams so they have a better experience. And this is for the registration fee, and they're also going to be putting, there's amendments to be brought up soon next week during the second read, if I was provided information correctly. I will yield my time to Senator Jake Schneider.
Okay, so hi, yes, I will be abstaining from the vote of this, but I'm working with this bill and our president. Our dues, and a lot of club members, I'm part of our finance on this club, and our dues have gone up over 100%. I think the actual number's like 130%. They've more than doubled. So I'm working on getting more, just working a more eloquent solution with our president. I will be amending this bill next week. If you have any questions about why we're joining this league or anything else, please direct them to me.
All right, so with that, the floor is open for questions of intent. I'm assuming you're not wishing to. All right, seeing none, we'll vote on this next week. Moving now into item 2024-2-012F, funding the Muslim Student Association with Senator Pedisani.
So the bill is to fund some events for the MSA. They're trying to rent out Beyer Hall to hold like an event the Byron Hall swimming pool for an event, and they're also trying to have another event for henna. So that's kind of it.
Floor is open for questions of intent. Seeing none, that bill will return next week. Now we'll see 2024-2-013F, funding for the Iowa State Blood Drive with Senator Nievenhoven.
Hi, everybody. This bill funds the it's like the rental for the blood drive, executive chair name tags, and Greek house signs for Greek houses that donate during the blood drive. This is a sponsor organization, and we have funded them in the past. So,
The floor is open for questions of intent. Seeing none, this will return next week. And we'll see item 2024-2-002Y, bylaw change for election commissioner comments in the third session with Senator Kammeier.
All right. Hi, everyone. So this was just something that I talked with the new election commissioner, Santi, about. And just for the most part, this is a pretty self-explanatory bylaw change. With all of the updates that can happen with Election Commission, we thought it would make sense for Election Commission to have a report just like the executive branch, judicial branch, and our advisors have. But the only requirement for this one is that it would only be in the third session, which is when all of the election information is mainly appearing. And yeah, I'm open to any questions.
Floor is open for questions of intent. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 2024-2-003Y, updating the bylaws with Speaker Mominy.
Okay, this was what I kind of touched on in my rules comments. Senator Rawls went ahead and recombined the chapters that were left out, so go ahead and give that a look over the next week. It's a long document because we just put all of our bylaws back, so it's all just, if you're wondering what specific changes were made, it was Chapter 3 of the bylaws, and then in Chapter 7, we added the part about finance officers that was forgotten, which is from 7.2 to, I'm not exactly sure where, but you know what? Just read all of Chapter 7. It's pretty important. Any questions?
Floor is open, starting with Senator Rolls.
It's not really a question, but in the current state, this is kind of just a draft. I'm doing some more.
Can it be a point of information if it's not a question?
Can I yield my, he's on the bill. Can I yield my?
If it's your opening.
I yield the rest of my
sure.
opening to Ross.
Okay. All the information is there. Just so you know, the numbering of the bylaws is off. So the chapters are wrong because we added a new chapter. Chapter 3 is our new chapter of student government committees versus in our old bylaws, Chapter 3 was the executive branch. So everything kind of got shifted down one, just so you know.
With that, the floor is open for questions of intent, starting with Senator Azan.
Are you planning to do highlighted part of the bylaws which you are making changes?
No.
All right, are there any
I'm
further?
sorry, that sounded really aggressive. I didn't mean for it to sound so aggressive.
The floor is open for further questions of intent. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item. Our final new business item for this evening, 2024-2-001. Jay, congratulating President Winterstein with Vice Speaker Pursley.
All right, this bill is exactly, or this resolution is exactly how it sounds. You can read through, but President Winterstein has done a lot for this school, and we would just like to congratulate her on it. Come talk to me or Alex or Martin or Quinn. Yeah.
Floor is open for questions of intent. Seeing none, this resolution will return next week. So with that, we've completed our business for this evening, and the floor is open for closing announcements. And I would ask for you to hang on packing up for 1 second while we do closing announcements, starting with Senator Gopa.
It's Justin Moran. Anyway.
Oh.
Anyway, the in-body composition analysis machine that was shown in Senate last week, it is now free to use for any student. I don't know how I did that, but Turns out you can get a lot from the university by just saying, can I get it for free? So I would recommend before you guys offer to pay up money for anything, ask for it for free, because they will do it. You pay that money. So there's a lot happening in the entrepreneurship world where the Iowa State Innovation Prize is this weekend, and you can sign up to win about $2,500. There's a pitch competition in the month of October. You can win up to $5,000. And Damon John, the shark on Shark Tank, is speaking in a couple weeks, and I recommend all of you to go to that event. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. Senator Azan.
Yeah, just to provide more context, I already use that service, and you don't need to ask even. You know, just go to the ISU Rec website using your net ID, sign up for the slot that works for you, and get the slot. So they don't charge you anything when you check out. So you don't need to go and ask someone to do it. Just go to the online and just register for that slot for in-body session exercise. And awesome, great job, Senator Gopa. If you did it, I don't know, but yeah, because he don't know, so he doesn't know. So, okay, with that I yield.
All right, are there any further general closing announcements? We'll get there. Pressing. There you go.
Sorry, guys, this is my first time using one of these. Really quickly, not as the Senate clerk, but as co-director of events, I really wanted to thank everyone that helped with Board of Regents. Seriously, could not have happened without you guys, and I'm really, really appreciative of it. In that same vein, please allow me to appreciate you more when you help out with the expo tomorrow. Thank you in advance for that.
Senator Pedisani.
I apologize for creeping out anyone who is afraid of mascots. I genuinely do. I'm sorry. I got carried away. I'm sorry.
All right, Senator Rolls.
I did not know you were actually Psy, but that's okay. I will continue to shield this until I die, but if you're interested in assets, it's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun experience. Get involved in a lot of nonprofit organizations that are health-related, education-related, and finance-related all across Story County, Ames, and ISU. So if you're interested, you can email our nonprofit coordinator, and she'll be happy to get back to you.
All right, are there any further general closing announcements? Seeing none, for my closing announcements, I don't have a whole lot other than echo, please be at the expo tomorrow. Please be there. It's going to be a great event. I'm really excited we're doing it again, and a lot of work has taken place to get us to this point. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get your outreach credit in. And my only other thing is to thank everyone again, as has already been said with the Board of Regents event, you all being there, helping us set up, being present, helping us clean up. That made it possible from the feedback we've gotten from regents, from university administrators. It really was effective in helping us build those relationships that we wanted for this year. And I'm really proud of what we were able to do last night. So with that, I'll yield to the Vice Speaker.
Hello, everyone. Please continue to do your office hours. You've been doing great so far. Make sure you do them every week. And then if you have any project ideas or new ideas, feel free to come to me and Alex, and we can help you out, get you where you need to go. And then also me and Alex will be working on revamping the new senator packet, so hope to see that soon. If you didn't know about that, it just helps new senators get into their roles and understand everything they have to do.
General closing announcements are done, if I'm correct.
That is correct. You could give some of your time if you wished.
Or we can talk later too.
I think I know what this is about, so I'm going to address it now. As far as the bylaw changes, okay, nope, I was wrong, but I'm going to say it anyways. As far as the bylaw changes, when you see the bill next week, we are going to do some amendments and rules. We're going to make sure the numbers look all pretty and nice for everybody. From there, when we open up the bill next week, I will say all of the new Chapter 3 will be new, and then we will specify exactly where in Chapter 7 is new, and then you guys can look at it then. If you would like to look at it before then, and we have our old bylaws on our teams and such, and then you can look at the other version that we have on the bill. I hope that works for you guys. Other than that, yes, please do your office hours. Otherwise, you're going to have to come to rules involuntarily, and that's not fun. That being said, we still have 2 open seats on rules. Please join. It's such a great experience. We're the best. That's it. With that, I'm going to yield some time to Senator Azan.
Awesome, thank you. So I do have suggestion for Vice President Persley and you, Alex. Maybe having a Canvas page might help. For GPSS, we do have a Canvas page, which all the trainings and everything, like, all the necessary package requirement for a senator. So maybe having a Canvas page and adding senators to that Canvas page might help to make it more smoother transition for new senators. I can share the, whatever we have for GPSS to you, and then we might be able to do it. I don't know.
We will look into that.
Awesome.
We will be discussing that at tomorrow's rules meeting. So thank you for the insight. With that, motion to adjourn. Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones. Thank you.